Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and we have another narrated Pokemon battle. So this is a battle against Gamer MZ. This is going to be an overused battle, and looking at my opponent's team, of course, there are some things that are very scary. I think the scariest thing is that Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele is always a big threat. It has the psychic terrain, and a lot of times they're Scarf, so that means you've got nothing that can outspeed them. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to lead my Heatran, which actually matches up very well against the Tapu Lele. So that's what I'm going to do. I have my Heatran here, and my opponent is going to, right off the bat, switch out the Tapu Lele and bring in the Chain Chomp, which is actually the Garchomp. So Garchomp can take this Flash Cannon pretty well. Garchomp is also a pretty scary Pokemon. It has pretty good speed, a really good attack. This thing could pretty much take out Heatran just with one Earthquake. So I'm going to swap out and bring in my Fortress, as my opponent is going to go ahead and pop the Z move. So this is a pretty scary thing to see here. Of course, Fortress does have really good defense, but I'm not sure if it can really take this pretty well because, of course, it does have Sturdy, so it'll always take one, but I'm pretty scared this will still do a lot of damage. But Fortress actually takes that beautifully. A lot better than what I was thinking at first. So, Fortress, you bulky monster. So now Garchomp will swap out. I know a lot of people bring Fire Blast on Garchomp just for steel bug types, but we don't have to worry about that, and I'm just going to start setting up some Toxic Spikes, so that way I could start putting some more pressure on my opponent's Pokemon. Of course, Garchomp doesn't really like that. Superior really doesn't like that, because Superior, it basically relies on setting up, but we're going to go ahead and get that over with, and I'm just going to Rapid Spin here, because I'm pretty sure the Galvantula will go for a Sticky Web, and of course, that's what Galvantula does go for. And if this thing gets a Sticky Web up, even my fast Pokemon are not going to do anything because of the Psychic Terrain. Of course, the good thing about my Mega Pinsir is that since it does get the flying typing, it doesn't really touch the ground. So basically that means it's not affected by Psychic Terrain. So that's actually something that's really good to know. But of course my opponent's going to keep setting up the Sticky Web. And of course, my opponent did miss the Thunder earlier, so that's kind of unfortunate for my opponent, but the Sticky Webs are here. I've got 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, so that's good, but I really need to make sure the Sticky Webs are not here, and I'm going to go hard into Thundurus. I know Thundurus is a flying type, so it's not affected by Sticky Web, and I want to threaten out Galvantula so I can go back into Fortress later and Rapid Spin. But yeah, we got Thundurus here. It does have the Volt Absorb, and I really want to set up a nasty plot, but Hidden Power Ice is going to be a 2-hit KO, so unfortunately I can't really stay in at all, so I have to switch out here. I can't stay in. I'm going to go into Heatran. I'm hoping Heatran can take, of course this can take the Hidden Power Ice, but I'm hoping it can take a Thunder as well, maybe. But yeah, here comes the Hidden Power Ice. It does barely anything. So Heatran's looking pretty decent, but the Thunder is going to come out, and Thunder is going to do some considerable damage, but Heatran takes that decently. We're going to just Fire Blast, get rid of this thing, and that's pretty decent because later on, I'm hoping I can go into Fortress and Rapid Spin, but now my opponent is going to go into this, and this is honestly the worst thing. I could, have to sit here with my Heatran, mainly because this thing can easily Dragon Dance. It can take anything my Heatran goes for, and it can just easily Dragon Dance up and start setting up some sweeping potential. I'm going to go Fortress. I probably should have went into something that was more of a threat to this thing because, of course, this thing is going to get some Dragon Dances. I think this is where I probably messed up, actually. I should have went into, like, Skarmory so I can Whirlwind it or something. But of course, it's not going to stay base Gyarados here. It's going to go ahead, Mega Evolve into Mega Gyarados. So Mega Gyarados has that Mold Breaker ability. So even if I had something with Levitate, it's not going to matter. But I don't. But it's just going to go for a Waterfall. Does some decent damage. I Rapid Spin here. I really want to get rid of those Sticky Webs. So we do get rid of that. But this thing is scary. It has set up. And of course, Gyarados does have decent special defense, so yeah, that is also a problem. we're going to take another waterfall. I just Volt Switch out so I can bring something else in. As you see there, yeah, it does have decent special defense. Fortress doesn't have good special attack though, so that's also a thing. I'm going to go into my Skarmory. I'm hoping to do something here. I'm going to take a nasty Ice Fang, and we get frozen. So this is actually the worst possible thing here. I was going to go for a Whirlwind, get rid of this thing, have a more favorable matchup, but that freeze has just destroyed everything, and I have to sack something off here. But unfortunately, my opponent is going to take advantage of that freeze and get another Dragon Dance, so things are not looking good at all. Thundurus cannot outspeed this thing, not at +2 speed, so it's going to just Waterfall and finish off Thundurus. I really needed that Skarmory not to freeze. I think that was one of the worst things right there. But now I go into my Pinsir. I'm hoping that I can maybe do something to turn this around, but I'm not totally sure because this Mega Gyarados has set up. It has frozen the only thing I had that could even phase the thing out. So it's got those Dragon Dances up. I'm going to go Quick Attack, and it does not enough. Not even enough to make me feel a little bit better about that. So we lose our Mega right there, and I'm going to go into Greninja here. Greninja, I'm pretty sure can't do anything. This thing is going to outspeed Greninja anyway, and the only option I would have had was a Water Shuriken, and Water Shuriken is not going to finish it off. I go for a Hydro Pump. That's really the only thing I've got on this thing that can even hit this thing. I've got like Dark Pulse. I think I've got Water Shuriken on this one, Hydro Pump, and Ice Beam, and really Hydro Pump's my only option that could actually do something, but it still isn't enough. So now I go into my Fortress. It's not looking good. Fortress isn't going to do anything, of course. And we just take a nasty Waterfall. We are going to lose Fortress. We are being swept. One by one, our entire team is being swept. I go into Heatran. Of course, I'm not really seeing a point in going to Skarmory because we're frozen, and I don't want this thing to start setting up Dragon Dances on my frozen Pokemon. Hoping that I can do something, but Heatran, of course, isn't going to do anything. That's basically the game. So now I'm just going to send out Skarmory to let it go down here. And the craziest thing happens. We're going to take a Waterfall here, of course, and we're going to live and get thawed out. And I actually just clicked Toxic expecting me to stay frozen, but we thawed out, and it honestly doesn't matter at that point because even if I Whirlwind, I don't have anything for the rest of my opponent's team. So that was a good game, Gamer MZ. Unfortunately, that freeze really hurt our poor Skarmory right there. But maybe next time if we bring similar Pokemon to this, maybe we won't get frozen. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I will see you in the next Pokemon video.